set to Samsung, right? Virtual camera out. Does that need to do anything? Where's Pasha? So, but wait, George, if it goes to, if the output is on, multi-year output and it's on Samsung and also it's start broadcasting on YouTube, should that work? Yeah. We can test it here. So we don't ever want to be touching YouTube audience.
Right, it's what, I guess it was so last week, he had logged into the UUCA account on his phone.
Yeah.
Respond to comments and stuff.
So why is this still playing on the live? Or we need to go all the way to the end? So it should be showing. So when you say it crashed, it means everything froze.
Every once in a while, everything just freezes. You have to really weird.
So it doesn't happen this time.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. It is so good to see you here on this beautiful Sunday morning. Our first hymn is number 128, For All That Is Our Life. The words are either in the hymnal or on the screen. We'll sing all 4 verses.
Thanks and praise, for all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pains, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise, for all that is our gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, a beloved community that changes lives. I'm Darvis White, and I'm so glad you're here this morning. If this is your first time, I hope you will head over to the Welcome Center after the worship service. The Welcome Center is located in the social hall in front of the big bulletin boards. There you will meet one of our greeters and learn more about our programming. At UUCA, we offer a rich variety of spiritual growth opportunities available for all ages. Our children's religious education classes are on a break right now until June, but today we are happy to have the children joining us in worship. After the second service at 12:30 p.m., we generally offer religious education classes for adults. However, today all of our adult RE is canceled due to the congregational meeting. At 12:30 in the social hall, the RE parents are honoring this year's RE teachers with a special luncheon. This luncheon is given generously for RE teachers to thank them for their contribution. So if you do not teach RE this year, please grab lunch out in the world before returning for the congregational meeting. And speaking of which, we now will hear a special announcement from our board president, Carol Ann Arvin.
I'm not actually seeing Carol Ann, so I'm going to give the announcement. We have a congregational meeting today where you will be electing your incoming officers, and I also happen to know that as the congregational meeting is happening from 1:30 to 3, we will have a really fun pizza party and games and activities for kids of all ages, so everyone is welcome to drop their kids off in the social hall with our caregivers there, and trust that they're going to have a great time while we have a great time discussing the work of the congregation at 1:30 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. Hope to see you then.
And now, please be sure to take this moment to put your phone in its most reverent position. Thank you. Once again, we're glad you're here on this beautiful morning.
So we light our chalice this morning in honor of all the people who have taught in religious education this past year, who have worked and studied and rewritten curricula and edited curricula and planned many hours to have a beautifully produced, planned out, well-planned religious education program. Now, I'm also seeing, I was going to invite them to come and light the chalice, but I think they're taking their first opportunity of the year to maybe sleep in and come to the 11 o'clock, because they do all of this amazing work at the 9:30 service. So if you were an RE teacher this year, you're welcome to come join me and as we light our chalice, although I'm literally not seeing a one. All right, dandy, yay! Would you please light our chalice as we say our chalice lighting words this morning? That are in your order of service. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
And our next hymn is number 121. This is one of my very favorites, We'll Build a Land, number 121. Please rise in body or in spirit as we sing together.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where siblings and sages, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come to the land where siblings and sages, anointed by God, may create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll be a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land, the people so bold. Come, build a land where siblings and sages, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from the spirits, once faint and once weak, where the oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build a land, my people we seek. Come build a land where siblings and sages, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like water,
light of our chalice flame also represents the warmth of community. So won't you please take a moment to turn, greet your neighbor, and welcome them here with a handshake or a hug. So, I'm going to do the call to worship. Yeah. In most cultures, there comes a moment in a young person's life when they are initiated into adulthood. As you leave childhood and childish things behind, you're invited to experience new privileges. And with that come new responsibilities. One of those responsibilities is the call to articulate your values, your beliefs, and your desires to your entire community and to make your contribution yourself known. This is a vibrant religious moment in our world. In the Muslim community, we are in the middle of Ramadan, a time of deep reflection, prayer, recommitment to religious community. In the Christian world, we are in the post-resurrection period, a liminal space where hope is reborn against the odds. So it is fitting that today we will honor the liminal rite of passage for our 3 graduating youth in our congregation. We will be invited to see their spark, to learn what ignites their passion and meaning for these youth who we have nurtured and who have nurtured us in return with their hopeful and exuberant spirits peeking through, even when hope can be hard to find. To be a teenager in America today is to feel the pressure to perform, to be social, to do all the activities, to excel, to compete. They are pulled in so many directions to be the best. But that is never what we ask of you here. In your religious community, this is one place where we don't necessarily value for all that you can do, though you do so much. We value you simply for who you are. And these times, that is a radical act of love. So please feel that love here today as we celebrate all the places we are meeting today, as we celebrate religious education across the lifespan, the faith development journey that we are all on here at UUCA.
And our next hymn is number 298, Wake Now My Senses. This is a wonderful Irish tune, and we love to sing it. We'll be singing the first 4 verses. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Wake now my and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the crime. Voices of suffering fill the white sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now, my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. Our love embraces the whole human race.
Good morning. My name is Barry Weiner, and I want to talk to you about our Coming of Age program, something near and dear to my heart. You may notice this year during the bridging ceremony that there is no coming of age. Due to a number of reasons, including our move, as well as the lack of potential 8th graders, we decided to put coming of age on hold for a year. We are starting for the 2019-2020 year in September, and all rising 8th and 9th graders are eligible to participate. No one will be left out. So I've had the honor and the privilege to serve as chair of the Children and Youth RE team for the past year. 6 amazing congregants, plus me, and 3 wonderful staff members meet once a month to find ways to serve the RE program here at UUCA. As chair, at the beginning of each meeting, I try to ask a thought-provoking question. After an annoying drive to our May meeting a few weeks ago, I almost changed my question to, what is your biggest driving pet peeve? Tied for number 1, drivers who turn into oncoming traffic they cannot see, and drivers who back into parking spaces, unless you're at a ball game, concert, or other large crowd event. I mean, why would anybody take 2 minutes to back in and out to save 15 seconds when you leave? But I digress. I kept my original question. When was the last time you left your comfort zone? And when have you left it at UUCA? For me, I left my comfort zone about a minute ago when I stepped up here to speak. Seriously, though, about 4 years ago, I signed up to be a mentor in Coming of Age. My wife, Jennifer, and I have been members here since 2009 and have attended fairly regularly for a few years before that. I'd filled in occasionally when asked to for my kids' RE classes, but I had never made a serious commitment. Though nervous and outside my comfort zone, I jumped into Coming of Age. I served 1 year as mentor and 2 years as a teacher facilitator. Those years have been perhaps the most rewarding in my time here. Seeing the youth and adults bond into a close-knit group has been inspiring, as well as watching the youth grow into rock stars. The Coming of Age ceremony has come to be my favorite one here, and my involvement with Coming of Age has also led to numerous volunteer opportunities for me as well. It led to my time on the Committee on Shared Ministry with Reverend Rogers, to the youth ministry team, which merged with the children's ministry team into our current RE team. Some of you may also recognize me from the RE greeting team, where I'm stationed in the social hall wearing my bright yellow crossing guard vest before and after services. Several people have offered to bring me a stop sign. I laugh as if I had never heard that before, but I have. So I've been tasked with getting the Coming of Age program up and running again, but I cannot do it by myself. I need all of you, and UUCA needs you as well. We're looking for not only youth, but mentors and teacher facilitators. We meet as a group one Sunday a month for 2 hours, and the mentors and youth meet for lunch before our 2 hours of class. We also have a weekend retreat, several fun team building activities, as well as a few service activities to give back to the community in need. The year runs from September to May and culminates with the youth reading a credo statement in front of the congregation at this very service. Though more than just a casual commitment, it is certainly not an overwhelming one. If you're interested, please sign up. It is a great opportunity to get out of your comfort zone. This program has helped feed my soul and my spirit. Please allow it to feed yours too. Thank you.
So hands upon hearts, feel the warm connection there. Let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love will heal the world. And now we hear the joys and sorrows of our beloved community. We send healing thoughts to Paula Keinart and her mother, Elaine, who recently suffered a series of falls. She had stitches in the back of her head, but nothing is broken. She has been at Emory Decatur Hospital and will be moving to a rehab facility before coming home. We send our love to Susan Kleinfelter, whose mother, Shirley Curry, passed away on May 4th at age 92. We are holding Susan in our hearts. Cards and emails are welcome. At this time, I invite you to say out loud the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning. As humans have gathered for millennia, so we gather on this day to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves, to humbly acknowledge our mistakes, to ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, to remember that all beings are inextricably and mysteriously connected, to feel that connection. So now we still our bodies, we still our minds. We take in a big breath. We exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the wise silence. I would like to invite now UUCA Endowment Fund Representative Laura DeCastro and our Youth Ministry Coordinator Ayana Coffee Stringer, who together will present the Ryman Scholarship this morning.
Good morning. My name is Laura DeCastro. I currently have the pleasure of serving on UUCA Endowment Fund Board of Directors. The Endowment Fund provides funds for a scholarship each spring to a graduating high school senior who has participated in at least 75% of youth gatherings over the course of their participation in the group, has a minimum of 1 year of active youth leadership, embodies the culture and goals of the UUA youth, and lives out the values of UUCA within the congregation and beyond. This Riemann Scholarship began in the mid-'70s by Rosalind Riemann. Roz was an active volunteer in the religious education program in the time when our congregation was known as the United Liberal Church. She had no children of her own and felt strongly about supporting the youth of the congregation. Although the actual sum of that gift was long exhausted, our endowment fund has continued the award in her honor and recently increased the scholarship funds available each year to $1,500. The religious exploration staff determines the recipient, and this year asked that the scholarship be shared between 2 graduating seniors, each receiving a $750 scholarship. Do you want to introduce them? Please join me in congratulating our 2019 Riemann Scholarship recipients, Kolya Sorverin and Alex Pohl.
Just hang. Lasting friendship requires both a similarity in something that's foundational as well as consistent challenges. We offer all those who seek it a moral gauntlet, as well as like minds to travel through it. The relationships that you make here are the types that can last a lifetime. This year, we had 2 clear options for the Riemann Prize. Kolya and Alex are matched in their dedication to this community. They have a bond that goes beyond regular friendship. Simply put, they're church friends. That means family. Kolya and Alex, you've individually made my experiences with the youth group fun, inspiring, and often hilarious. When you're together, there's no discussion topic too obscure, no problem too illogical to solve, and no brainstorm session that you can't see through to completion. I'm standing here as a representative of our community. We've watched you as you've willingly taken up leadership, both in YRUU and in the wider church community. We've seen your constant presence. We've been inspired by how you embody the spirit of our principles. And we're honored to have you as representatives in the world.
The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
down, and oh, my soul so weary. When troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You give me hope. You show my soul compassion. When I'm in need and find myself in pain, you touch my hand and give me soft assurance until my heart is filled with joy again. You raise me up. You raise me up. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Some of my favorite times with this congregation are moments that feel like a trust fall, when we don't quite know what's going to happen, but we're just there for each other. We just catch each other, fall back into each other's arms. This worship service, in some ways, is like that. Being a part of youth group feels like that. I've been there. I've been in that trust fall myself on both sides. So I hope when you need a place to trust, a community to catch you, that you've come here and that you find it here. May these dollars go far. May this gift be a blessing to catch more and more people who need it. Blessed be on this gift.
To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives in these our offerings.
Nope. It's okay. So how many of you have ever visited the Ocean Ballroom at the Georgia Aquarium? That's the ballroom, not just the aquarium, but the big Ocean Ballroom. Let me see a show of hands. Who's been there? So if you've ever been there, it's really similar to any other kind of ballroom, except one of the walls behind you is actually one of the largest fish tanks in the aquarium. And then the other wall to the side is that enormous dolphin tank instead of walls. The other night, I was there for the Center for Civil and Human Rights annual banquet, the Power to Inspire banquet. The speakers were formidable. A renowned farm worker justice activist, the CEO of Georgia Pacific, a U.S. Olympic gold medalist, and finally, Ambassador Andrew Young. And yet, the food was amazing, the program stellar, and yet I could not help but feel disoriented, like the fish were watching us. Watching us swim around in our ballroom, moving to and fro, some of us in groups, clusters, like a school, others on our own, gliding along in shiny, iridescent dresses, floating with wine glasses in hand or smartphones. For our graduates today, Kolya, Alex, and Sally, Unitarian Universalism is the water they swim in, and always have. They have always been raised with the assumption that their voices would be respected and that their faith journeys would be taken seriously. UU minister Victoria Safford writes, "Ours is a saving church, and by that I mean that lives are saved within it." People say that. They use that old vocabulary. They say, "I never knew there was a place like this where I could be accepted." They say, "I never knew there could be a congregation that believed as I do." They say, "I walked out of the church as soon as I was old enough, but until I came here, I had no idea how deeply I was longing for connection to other people, then also to the sacred." They say, "I was a spiritual shipwreck, and I'm still drifting, but at least, at last, I have a home." These graduates today have never not known there was a church where they would be accepted. They have only known a congregation where they would be loved beyond belief, encouraged to question further, to love more deeply. They have only known a church where their birth was a blessing and their worth unquestioned. They have only known a church that told them, "Whomever you love, whatever your gender identity, and you are welcome here, and you are beloved." See, sometimes on the inside of this sanctuary, just like that ballroom the other night, we are trying our hardest to give a speech that will inspire someone. We are trying to look our best, trying to harness the power to inspire. And the youth are just surrounding us, swimming around us, particularly these youth, just swimming in the UU water, born into it, breathing it in, and understanding with their very being what the rest of us are trying our whole lives to learn through philosophy or self-help or right action. This threshold moment of graduation, it's a moment to consider the kind of life you will live. James Baldwin says, "One can give nothing whatsoever without giving oneself." That is to say, risking oneself. If one cannot risk oneself, then one is incapable of giving. So if Unitarian Universalism is the water they swim in, and these youth were born into the safety of this community, well then, they have all the strength of all of us behind them, encouraging them to risk themselves. See, they have a place where they can risk safely and thus give themselves to the world. Like fish out of water, they might struggle a little bit to find their place in the family of things out there. But of course, they can seek other UU communities or campus fellowships, and of course, they can always find their way home again. Whether today is your first day as a member of the UU Congregation of Atlanta, or whether today is your last day as a part of the UUCA youth group, we offer ourselves to your journey. We offer ourselves to you. We are the solid ground you will need to risk yourself, to give yourself to the world, because the world needs you more than ever. Amen.
In a house which becomes a home, one hands down and another takes up the heritage of mind and heart, laughter and tears, musings and deeds. Therefore, we do not neglect the ceremonies of our passage when we wed, when we die, and when we are blessed with a child. Let us bring up our children. It is not the place of some official to hand to them their heritage.
If others impart to our children our ideals, they will lose all of us that is worthless and full of wonder.
Let us build memories in our children, lest they drag out joyless lives, lest they allow treasures to be lost because they've not been given the keys.
This time, I would like to invite the parents of our seniors who are graduating from our youth program. I've invited them to come forward and bring their youth on up here. Sally, you too. And I've invited the parents to share an intangible gift. So first we'll hear from David Smith, and his graduating senior will be with him, Sally Smith. So come on over here.
Good morning. Well, Sally, it started when you were a baby. You insisted on being an individual. Try this food? No. Read this book? No. Does my sister like it? Yes. Well, then no. You wanted to learn it yourself and do it yourself and do it your way. At UUCA at first, you wouldn't even go to religious education. But if you had, you would have heard your theme song, I'm unique and unrepeatable. Unfortunately, your mom and I pretty much figured this out when you were still young, and we realized that stubborn so-and-so was not the right word for you. Charles Darwin called it differentiation. It is an essential survival skill, and it is completely natural and healthy. And over the years, a funny thing happened. On your own, you got it. You, in your own way, discovered, for example, earth-centered religion. You discovered on your own Mary Oliver. You became a staunch defender of anything queer. You found your own ways to be of service to your community. If you're at Decatur High School and you're struggling with math, this is the person you go find. Sally founded a math tutoring center at her high school. So I guess the gift I have given you, the gift I give you, is the gift of accepting you for the wonderful individual you are. Viva la différence. Let your freak flag fly. You are unique, unrepeatable, and wonderful.
Now I'm going to invite Jill and Eric Pohl to speak about their graduating senior, Alex.
Yeah.
I'm Jill Pohl.
And I'm Eric Pohl. So Alex, when you were young, we told you to have fun, be good, learn something. And in fact, we still say that sometimes when you leave for school in the morning. You got the be good part down just fine. For have fun and learn something, you'll need to get out of your comfort zone just a little bit, kind of echo what Barry was saying earlier. So say yes to opportunities, volunteer for things, go to social events even when you don't know many people, put yourself out there and try new things. Talk to the people who cross your path and keep making new paths. To help you with this, we give you the gift of communication.
Maintaining relationships over the years takes a little work. Your grandparents would say one needs to call or write every so often, but for you, you can email, text, message, whatever. Just do it. During a day, make note of what you're doing that might be worth sharing. Either right then or that night, share it. We aren't only looking for the gold nuggets of your life. We want to hear about the rocks, too. And of course, we have to add, respond to every message, especially from your mom and dad. Let people know when you appreciate them, when you're thinking about them. Remember birthdays. Don't be anonymous in class. Talk to your professors after class, during office hours. Really get to know the ones who are good teachers and who you find interesting. Volunteer your thoughts, even in large groups. Sit near the front of the room. To Kolya, you have been a great friend to Alex for a long time, even before you went to the same school, even before we knew you or your parents. And we have UUCA to thank for all of that. They met when they were about 4 years old here. You two complement each other very well. You have different strengths. We think you've shown Alex how to be that person in the room willing to look and act confident, a rare and valuable trait. We've watched you turn third grade bossiness into real leadership, finding a fair system that lets everyone's voice be heard.
So to Kolya and also to Alex, we'll leave you with this. Don't get too attached to your ideas. Really listen to the opinions and ideas of people you respect but don't necessarily agree with, and then have the confidence to change your mind sometimes. You two are going to do great. Go your own ways, but keep in touch. Ask each other for advice, or just commiserate about a lousy day. We're both very proud of you.
And finally, I want to invite Lynn Geiger and Pasha Suverin to speak about their graduating senior, Kolya, and Alex.
Hi, I'm Lynn Geiger, and I told myself I wasn't going to cry, but that toothpaste is already out of the tube, so we're okay.
And I'm Pasha Suverin.
And we are, thank you, we're proud parents of Kolya Suverin. Wow, I didn't even make it to the first line. Jill, I've quoted you many times in the past with something that you've said that stuck with us, that we're not raising children, we're raising adults.
This gets to the irony of planned obsolescence in parenting. We put in all this work to build an interesting and thoughtful adult who we like spending time with, and then they leave.
Kolya and Alex, it's got to be hard for the two of you as well. The two of you grew up and have become adults together. And honestly, we couldn't wish for a better friend for you to have leaned on over all of these years. And you're both deeply influenced by each other and by our families and by this church community.
And now you're going off into who knows what to get a crash course in how to live and think from people whose voices you've never heard before.
You probably don't even know right now which parts of yourself came from your parents and which came from other people. So far, you know one way of being, and that way is based in a large part on what you've learned from the people in this room.
But now it's time to experience wider influences, to listen to sources of inspiration beyond just what we can offer you.
Some of these new voices will be thrilling and will inspire you to change and adapt who you are into an even more well-rounded person.
Some of these new voices will be dangerous or scary. Be fearless as you listen to ideas that sometimes you don't even want to hear.
Listen to all these new voices and use them to expand your knowledge of yourself and build a larger worldview that benefits from all that you can learn.
But there's an inner voice, too. There's a voice inside of you, Kolya and Alex, that's been there the whole time. Perhaps it's been quiet while you learned how to be from us and from this community.
Your inner voice is getting stronger now, and it's calling you to be the person you can become.
With practice, you can learn to trust that inner voice to help temper the external voices.
One of the most important parts of becoming an adult is finding the balance between your inner voice and the outer voices that surround you.
So, there's 3 sets of voices we're talking about now. The first voice of your family, your friends, and this community. The second voice of the new people you'll meet in the wider world, and that third voice that comes from a place deep inside of you.
We humans are a blend of voices.
We are born with an innate sense of who we will become, but we're also a product of our environment. We grow into adults by combining the best parts of all the voices we hear along the way.
So remember our voices as you step into a wider world.
Go and seek new voices, strange and wonderful voices that are waiting to call you.
And nurture your inner voice. Let it guide you along the way.
And now we give you our intangible gift, discernment.
Discernment is how you know which new voices will harmonize best with the voices you've already listened to.
Everything we've taught you so far in life is about how to discern between voices, how to know when the new voice you're hearing right now is one that has the power to open up new worlds, new ideas, new possibilities in life. Discernment is the moment when your inner voice trembles in excitement that it's hearing a new voice that harmonizes with itself.
Please take this discernment with you and keep it handy as you integrate the myriad of new voices you're about to hear into the person that you will become, as you blend the best voices together and become the person that you were born to be.
And don't forget to call your mother. Bye.
So I'll invite the parents to go have a seat and watch as your seniors metaphorically and very literally cross a bridge. So the graduating seniors, I'm going to invite you to stand on this side of the bridge, on my right. Yes. Meeting them on the other side are Hannah and Dandy, members of our UUCA Young Adult Group, ready to welcome them into that world. So Darvis, come on up. Today we recognize the youth among us. They're graduating from high school, moving on to the next phase of their young lives. I'll tell you when to cross, not quite yet. We open our hearts to them, be they here or elsewhere this morning. May they have love and support for wherever they go next. So our young adults group members are waiting for you on the other side with a chalice for you. It is a symbol of your essence as a person with inherent worth and dignity. As representatives of the youth of this congregation, we recognize your passage from youth into young adulthood. We honor you at this moment of transformation. Graduates, please repeat after me. We welcome your blessing and we move forward in hope. Now you may cross the bridge and receive your chalices.
Take this flame from us with its gifts of Unitarian Universalism that you have received so far, as well as the many gifts of friendship and community. Now it is your responsibility to keep your flame aglow. Use it to light up the path that stretches out before you. We honor you at this transformative time. And to the congregation, let us resolve as a congregation to kindle and rekindle the inner spirit of all youth and young adults who are now a part of our community or will become so in the future. We give this charge to all the adults in the congregation as you meet young adults who have grown up Unitarian Universalists or seek it out. You have the privilege and sacred responsibility to welcome them. Just as other Unitarian Universalist congregations have the privilege and sacred responsibility to welcome some of your young people into their congregations. If you will take up this responsibility, please say, "We will."
And now I'm actually going to invite the families of the graduating seniors back up. Stand behind your children. From the child dedication service to the bridging achievement to graduation, throughout our congregation has dedicated itself to the development and nurture of our children and our youth. As a congregation, may we know that we have held our children from birth to youth, and we will continue to hold them. So to send off our youth in the next chapter of their lives, we will bless them through a laying on of hands ritual, an ancient tradition of many uses: confirmation, healing, blessing, and ordination. In both the Hebrew and Christian scriptures, it is the means of imparting a blessing. So each of you, as you sit, will you turn your left hand upward to receive from your neighbor, and your right hand downward. And if you're close to someone, place your hand on their hand or underneath their hand. So we pass the Spirit in this way on to one another. At the end of each row, maybe, I don't know if we can make it happen, but maybe if you can give one hand to the person in the front or back of you, so we are all connected. If you can. Be mindful of these hands and the power they carry. These are hands of not just us, but all who have been, all who are, and all who shall be a part of this sacred tradition. These are hands that are essential to the ministry of presence. They offer solace in a touch, a handshake. They extend an open invitation to join the circle of life, the family of all souls. Through holding of one another's hands, we join our spirits and confer a blessing on our graduates. Let us pray. Sally, Alex, Kolya, may you never unlearn your sweet gentleness. May you keep tame that which rages dangerous within us all. May you respect yourself and envy none. May you never once be used up. Remember who you are. May you win no victory that harms yourself or another. May you ask for forgiveness openly and grant it often. May you know good teachers all the days of your life, honoring their vision, walking forward in their name. May you give sympathy to all living things, and by your actions, lessen the tides of human sorrow. May you find a noble calling, adding to the sum of human happiness and joy, singing your own heart's song. May you know great joy, great peace, great love. Blessed be. Amen. And now the bridging ceremony comes to a close. May we continue to grow in our ability to kindle the fire of the inner spirit in everyone and all the ages, also as we welcome new members into our community later today. Once again, congratulations to our bridgers. Body or in spirit as we sing one more step.
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us and everyone. We'll take one more step, one more word, we will say one more word, till every word is
body or in spirit, join hands for our benediction this morning. Once again, to our visitors, we welcome you, and we really hope you have found something here today that feels like home. In the name of all that is good and holy, with the spirit of life and love that dwells within and among and beyond us, we bless you. May your journey know joy and contentment and satisfaction. May it also know pain and disappointment in just enough measure to grow within you good character and compassion. May you never feel alone. May you always feel love around you from your family, friends, and from that great holy source beyond us all. May you always offer your love to the world. May you walk your path through the light and the darkness with hope, faith, and grace. May your life be a blessing. Go in peace. Amen.
Well, we didn't have any words for the hymns, like especially the first two, so I was going dum de dum 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 dum. There were words on the other screens, but not on our choir screen.
We had to switch to more show and action instead of slides on your monitor. But then we changed it.
Well, there was no action. People were standing there in the congregation like dum did it. They were singing the words we wanted.
Well, we got it squared away.
But if you can anticipate and put up the words before we start singing, it helps. Because I'm a slow reader. I really am. So what else is going on? The sound sounded good. Is that a Monet, that picture of the bridge? It's very nice. I loved it. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, it almost has no definition.
Yeah, at first I was like, is that an abstract? And then I realized it was a bridge. And it's so appropriate. I don't think I've ever seen a bridging ceremony with that photo, that painting. It was nice. Mm-hmm.
Thanks again. Oh no, that's right. I put it in. That's my house. You're so hot. Spot. Thank you. So we okay? And it's still working on.
And we really don't have all the hymnals we
You
need.
have this selected. It goes out.
So I couldn't find a hymnal. Dum dee dum dee dum dee dum dum dum. One more step.
Yeah. See. Oh, look there. Wait.
Some people have all of the hymns memorized in the UU book. Did you know that?
This selected instead of Wirecast. Like things ever on the internet.
I've never memorized all the hymns. Maybe I
It
should.
should still be on Samsung. That was the last. Thanks again. We are only adding in. So it's like a big wire. She has like a giant wire monster. Oh, yeah. Something like it was. Yeah. I tried to come down a bit. Yeah,
All right, the new member Sunday, the new member stuff. I've never done this, I've never seen it either for some reason. I've never been here for a new member welcome. Do I say all these things about each person?